I appreciate all of you taking time out to come out and spend some time with us this afternoon. Really excited. We're going right from here to practice, but really excited every day when I get to go on the floor with these guys. It's nice. It's nice to have some returning guys. A year ago there was so much uncertainty on our roster, and now we have guys that have played a lot of minutes and gained valuable experience. But to go along with that, we have some guys that have improved their game, some newcomers on the roster. I don't think there's any question that it's the most depth, most competitive practices, and most physical practices we've been able to have since we've been here. So it's something that we really have to. There's a good and bad to that. We have to monitor the amount of contact in practice a little bit, but it is really fun to go out there every day because you can have great competitive segments and really get into the competition part of winners and losers maybe a little bit sooner than we've been able to in years past, and looking forward to it. I would tell you that all of the guys really can't single out anybody of the returning guys. I think they all had a great summer. They've put on weight, they've matured, they're stronger, and even though we're still an extremely young team with just 2 seniors and 1 junior, the guys, their bodies have matured, and they're physically more ready for college basketball, and I've seen great improvement, especially in our sophomore class. And then the freshmen, they're going to add some pieces that we haven't had, maybe a little more skill up front, and obviously some, with Keith Pinkney in the backcourt, he can play, he can help and relieve some of those minutes from some of the guys who have logged so much time in the past. But, I think they're in different stages. The guards are very comfortable with what we do. Other than Keith Pinkney, obviously with Dabney, Hook, and Stark from last year, but then you add Reynolds and Herlihy and Kajon Mack, who's now been with us 2 years, even though he didn't play last year. They're very comfortable with what we do. As soon as we hit the floor today, they're going at each other. And Keith is still trying to learn a little bit, but those guys are really going at it. The bigs, we have some decent numbers there, and I think some guys that can really help us, but they haven't been able to get competitive yet because they're all still learning, because they're fairly new to the whole thing. So you have a backcourt that's just chomping at the bit to get at each other and play live one-on-one, two-on-two, things like that, and then a front court that you're still trying to teach. So no question, right now it's the most competitive backcourt, but I think the whole roster will be that way. Yeah, I think it's dangerous sometimes, and I really try hard to avoid the comparison game. But I will tell you that, October last year had great hopes for Jonathan. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been here. But he really made big strides in November, December, and I think a lot of that had to do with the playing time that he was afforded and the responsibility he had. I would say that Keith, comparatively to where he is this October to where Jonathan was, I think Keith is probably ahead of where Jonathan was. Now, it's going to be a different situation, I think, for both of them going forward from a minutes standpoint and what they're able to do during the year. So you might not see it. It might not be as evident in statistics, but I've had hopes for both of those. Jonathan's a much improved basketball player from last year, which is exciting. I mean, he really is. His body is better. He's stronger. He's more balanced. Much better feel of how to command, the game, those type of things. He's improved. Well, I appreciate the university and athletic department's belief in what we've done with our program. I would tell you that it's I think we're on great footing, going forward from, all facets, and you can get into, the academic side of it. When Jay Hook and Trey Dry walk across that stage in May, I think it'll be 17 guys since we've been here. Well, not only will have graduated, but I think 11 of those have worked on their masters, and somewhere 10 or 11 have had a chance to play professionally. So doing it on both fronts, and then back-to-back postseasons, those things have laid a great foundation and stability with the program. But then going forward, and I think everybody realizes this, but there's, I get a smile on my face every day for where we are, but also what this year could mean. I mean, joining what we've done, the practice facility's been built, the game day facility on campus, Devlin's been renovated, changing leagues. There's exciting times ahead, I think, for Tulane basketball, but it also goes back to because there's a good foundation laid, and so I think you have a young team with some great opportunities laying in front of them, and I think it's going to be exciting going forward.
There's a huge jump up, though. There's no question. Everything you just laid out, all the foundations have been laid. It's going to be tough. You're going to
Yeah.
be pressure. It's like the
No question. And I'm on the USA Today, the voting panel for the top 25, and it's interesting when we were putting together and looking at that. I think there's 3 teams, maybe more, but there's 3 teams that legitimately think they can win the national championship this year. And even SMU with losing Moutier, I know I've talked to guys who've been in the practice. They think they're one of those teams. UConn thinks they're one of those teams. Memphis thinks they're one of those teams. So, you're looking at almost everybody in the league feels they have a legitimate shot to get to the NCAA tournament. We know you don't have to win this league to win a national championship. It's as good as it gets in college basketball. And as you said, the media exposure from TV and everything else, it's gonna bring that spotlight to it. But I think our guys, they welcome that. Obviously I'm thankful that we have some experience coming back in the backcourt, because that's usually a great indicator that you can maybe game plan and get in some games. But it's gonna be exciting. Well, I tell them all the time, I'm going to train them all like point guards, I'm going to train them all like centers, because everybody on our team, as you know, we talk about flow and versatility. Everybody's going to post up, everybody's going to handle the basketball. I think what you are going to see, I think you're going to see a lot of different lineups, and I love that fact. Sometimes you get in non-conference games and you don't have the versatility to go small when you need to. Now I think we can go small in those games, but we can also go big. It's when you put, say, Cameron Reynolds and Josh Hurley and any of our other bigs out there, all of a sudden we can get some good size out there, And so I think we're going to have the versatility of a lot of different lineups. You could see 5 guards. I think you're going to see 3 or 4 a lot. Yeah, I think what you'll see us do with that center spot, Ryan Smith is an improved basketball player as well. Really starting to come into his own a little bit, and he'll be a real good low post presence when he's in the game. But I think you'll see us move our 5s away from the basket more, because Dylan and Stanley and guys like that can do that. They're capable. They have the skill set to do that. But then also, we can throw a lot of different looks at you from that other big spot. Josh Hurley, Cameron Reynolds, as you said, Trey Dries improved his perimeter skills. We'll be better. I think we'll be the best we've been since we've been here at moving the basketball and really attacking from all 4 perimeter spots, from 3 and on the drive. Yeah, I think it goes back to kind of what I said earlier about Keith and Jonathan. I think there's going to be several of those guys on this team. I don't know if it'll be as easy to identify from a statistical standpoint, but I would tell you that, Kayjon Mack, and if you remember, Kayjon had a wonderful freshman year, and really was the one guy that we thought had the experience coming back until he got hurt last year. He has improved his shooting tenfold. He can really shoot the basketball now. I think he's ready for a breakout. But then again, I look at the Cameron Reynolds and Josh Hurley-Hees and Peyton Henson, those guys, they've all improved. And so I think, again, hard to see statistically, but I think several guys are going to emerge, and you'll say, oh, that's a quality basketball player. That's a guy that's really can compete at this level. Yeah, I think that's the word. We were so fragile in certain games, and depending on whether it was foul trouble, depth, the game could get away from us fairly quickly. Really proud of those guys on how they executed in any game that we were in. It seemed like we won, but there were certain games that just got away from us. I think this year we can dictate tempo on both ends of the floor better. And anytime you're the team that can dictate the tempo because of depth or athleticism or whatever, then I think that affords you the opportunity to stay in and play against all different types of opponents. And so I certainly think that'll be the case this year. Yeah, knee is doing great. He's cleared to do all non-contact things. He can do some limited contact stuff. We're kind of, because we have time, we're kind of going slow in that regard with him in regards to contact, but he's just about back and cleared. It won't be long. Malik is a great addition to our program. His competitiveness, and desire to be a good basketball player and to be on a winning team, it really shows through every day. I have to hold him back. He wants to get out there really badly, and You know, he's in the gym every night working on his game. It's just he's another one. We've got a culture now that of gym rats, and he's one of those guys that's in that gym 24/7, and it'll pay off for him. This year's going to be great for him, I think, just to improve his all-around skills. We're still waiting, hopeful, but waiting, and I would think there'd be a decision fairly soon regarding him. All right. Well, once again, thank you. Thank you for coming out.